They did it to themselves. Too little too late now, but it is fun to watch them panic, backtrack, and embarrass themselves. You want to see that video?
Subdivisions, I'm predicting that Tesla's stock price in about 15 years will be somewhere around $48,893, which from today's date is roughly 47x where we are today, which is a lot. Which is a lot.
Hi friends, welcome back. So I noticed a trend today where many of the Tesla pumpers were sharing how much they got paid. This is coming from Teslanomics 22 hours ago. Breaking, this was the highest I've ever been paid by X. Thank you advertisers for believing in me, and thank you Elon and Linda for allowing me to do what I love and get paid for doing it. There's no better platform than X. You got paid. And I want to make this really clear, guys. Many of these pumpers out there are shilling, Tesla shilling whatever Elon Musk says, because you get paid. It's a real thing if you're curious. And this person actually hid how much they got paid, so we don't actually know how much it is exactly. This is another person. This is Eva McMillan. She's one of the Tesla pumpers. Post and earn. Thank you, X. So I guess in April, and she's one of the smaller ones. I guess she got 600 in one period, 1,000 another period, 600 in yet another period. And it looks like these are kind of 2-week periods. So maybe she makes about 1,000 a month from doing this stuff. There's another person, limiting factor. They're like, yo, my YouTube versus X earnings. So they're saying they get more money on X than YouTube. So it's like $1,400 there. And it's crazy how much people get. And even Farz is like, yo, that's awesome. And I make these videos because I want you to understand, guys, that money is being changed hands. And Elon Musk can boost whatever post that he wants. He can retweet any of these people, which he does frequently. He can comment on them, and also too, he can like sort of boost them in the algorithm because they control it. It's their company. I want to show you some more and understand what's going on.
What will it take to justify a $10 trillion market cap for Tesla? Not financial advice, of course.
Full self-driving, not financial advice. Full self-driving, yeah, for sure. I think they can probably get to, not financial advice, they can probably get to somewhere between 4 to 6 trillion with cars and energy at full ramp without any software, just based on the amount of volume they're going to be able to put out there.
So oftentimes these people on social media will put out these crazy numbers because they know their audience is new to the market, new to stocks, new to all this kind of stuff. So you have no idea if these numbers are reasonable or not. And this is sort of why I put these videos, just to give you some perspective on this. So they're telling you Tesla's going to be a $10 trillion company, not financial advice, which basically means they can just make up whatever crap they want. This is the perspective, though, that I want you to have, is if they're telling you Tesla's going to be 10 trillion, what is that in relationship to other companies? So at the moment, as a recording, Microsoft is a $3 trillion company. Apple's $2.8 trillion. NVIDIA is $2.2 trillion. This is just to give you some perspective. And at the moment, there are only 7 companies above $1 trillion valuation. So when they tell you that Tesla's going to be 10 trillion, there's no company even near that now. And you're talking like 3 times the size of Apple. And it's absolutely insane what they're talking about.
So 44% growth expected in earnings per share next year, right? General Motors expect to have 2%, which once again, I don't think that's even going to happen. But let's say that does. So let's do a little math on that. Then means Tesla's going to outgrow GM over 20x in earnings per share next year. Over 20x. So if that's the situation, then Tesla should be commanding a forward PE next year of 100 plus, of a 100 plus. But where's Tesla at? Tesla's at a 32. That's not 100 plus, but that's what it should be. Because if Tesla's outstripping that sort of growth, they should be commanding that sort of valuation, folks, okay?
So I know if you're new to stocks, new to the market, you must think, wow, these people must be so smart. They have all of these views, etc. The problem is, though, is that because you're new, you don't know that they're saying a whole bunch of BS. This 100p stuff is complete nonsense. If you understand, this is the ratio of price of stock compared to how much a company earns. Basically, you want your earnings to be relative to your growth. Even this example, Jeremy's like, oh, God, Tesla's going to have a growth of 44%. Well, if that were the case, you should have your PE around there. For example, maybe your PE should be like 30 or 40, but not like 100, double your growth. It doesn't really make any sense. Moreover, when you take a look at this, they're actually not growing Profits are falling 55%. We're talking about Tesla here. And I'm showing you guys this stuff because this is why we look at the news all the time. We pay attention to sort of where the direction a company is going. Moreover, I show you guys this stuff all the time. You can just take a simple valuation grade. You can see their PEs are too high, their PEGs are too high, etc. Basically, the numbers aren't looking good and they're nowhere near 100 PE, and 100 PE is absolutely crazy, especially when your profits are falling.
A monopoly potentially on the software if they're able to solve it, because they're taking the vision approach without all the crazy amounts of sensors, and they have the scale to be able to do this on multiple millions of units of cars per year or tens of millions of cars per year with the software that they can turn on with the flip of a switch, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. It's at least a doubling of the valuation, in my opinion, at least. Just conceptually, like, it has to be worth at least double if all their cars can drive themselves and you can just hail it, and all of a sudden you render every other car obsolete by doing that. And then we're not even talking about the bot. Like, if the bot, I mean, I don't even want to talk about that. So yeah, I think that's how Tesla gets there. It does sound pie in the sky to a lot of people, but just sitting down and doing a math exercise with some projections in the future and just giving Tesla the benefit of the doubt from an execution perspective, given their track record, I think you can definitely justify $10 trillion market cap, not financial advice, but a lot has to go their way. But if there's one thing Tesla does well, is making things go their way.
So I showed you this article before, but I want to show you again because it really captures the meme stock-ish and hype of Tesla. Because take a look at this. Tesla Q1 profits falls 55%. But read the second part. But stock jumps as company moves to speed production of cheaper vehicles. So basically, this captures the meme stock Tesla, because don't look at the numbers. Just pay attention to the hype on social media that, hey guys, this cheaper car is going to come out next year. Hey guys, we're going to be making these like new vehicles. You've never seen them before. They're going to be awesome. Wait for the announcement, right? And then it just becomes all social media and hype. And so what I try to do on the channel, guys, is show you some realistic numbers of these kind of things. So for example, when that Forza dude's telling you they're going to make 10 million cars, kind of how does that relate to other car companies? So currently, Tesla does about, what is this? Sold 1.8 million cars in 2023. Hyundai sold 4.2 million cars 2023. Toyota 11.23 cars, right? They sold in 2023, and BMW 2.2 million cars sold in 2023. So, in my opinion, looking at the price of a Tesla's car and comparing it, like, what is a better comparison? Is it Hyundai? Is it Toyota? I think it's more like a BMW. Why? Just the price of the car, guys. It's a premium vehicle. They're not selling, cars for sort of your average person around the world, whereas Toyota and Hyundai do, right? Lower price vehicles. And so this is sort of why people would, live off the hype of these cheaper vehicles. The thing is, though, they're not here. It could be vaporware. They may never come, but that's what they try to get you excited. Like, hey guys, we're going to be like bigger than Toyota or the next Toyota, etc. So I just want to give you guys some general numbers of what we're talking about. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you think they can sell more cars than Toyota.
My Tesla stock price target for year end 2024 is $3,000 per share. In 2024, I am expecting the two biggest catalysts to date in the history of Tesla: Robo taxis doing their first fully autonomous fares somewhere on planet Earth, most likely in the US, maybe in China, and the release of the $25,000 Tesla, aka the Tesla Q. Please. They did it to themselves. Too little too late now, but it is fun to watch them panic, backtrack, and embarrass themselves. You want to see that video?
Again, who knows better than Tesla how to develop things of that nature? So they they basically said that the robot that we saw on especially the video that we saw then,
the new one,
and some of the stuff that we see more recently, the bot is basically ready to go now. It could go to work right now in some factories and do useful work.
How much do you think it will cost to build?
We came up with, we think, the maximum is $6,000.
I came up with 5,000. I didn't say as a maximum, but I said, yeah.
5,000 is probably right, yeah.
Yeah. And what is the minimum that they would sell it for?
I can't imagine less than 20,000 a year on a lease.
Right. And that's the thing, is I don't know why you'd sell it rather than lease it.
No, you lease it.
So, I mean, if we get to 20 million cars in 2030 and we get to 20 million bots in 2030 and just match it, Then we're at 3.5 trillion in revenue if we ramp to 20 million units by 2030. Just matching the car output with something that has substantially fewer atoms, a fraction of the battery pack, the same hardware in terms of the electronics, except 500 feet less of it. It's going to be, and that only puts you at 82 million bots cumulative, with revenue of $3.5 trillion.
So I guess according to these guys, Tesla's going to be leasing out robots. Every year they're going to be making, $24,000 a year per robot. And then they're going to be, 2025, they'll be doing 10,000 of these robots. It'll eventually ramp up to 20 million, etc. And these are just ludicrous numbers. That's why I had to show you guys the car numbers before, just to give you a general perspective of like how many units that you would sell. Moreover, what about these kind of revenue numbers? They're all over the map, right? What they're trying to say, and eventually they're going to get to, I guess, $1 trillion in revenue on robots. Guys, I want to put this in perspective so you can understand that what these people tell you is a bunch of nonsense. So currently, Volkswagen, just talking about car companies here, Volkswagen's revenue is about 348 billion, right? No $1 trillion revenue companies here. Toyota's about 300 billion. Ford, 177 billion. General Motors, 174 billion. BMW, 168 billion. And I told you guys before, Tesla, theoretically in a great, scenario, maybe they're going to be something like a BMW, right? Get that kind of revenue, get that kind of valuation, sell that kind of cars in terms of numbers. Tesla currently is revenue at 94 billion. Again, nowhere near $1 trillion. If you're curious, around the world, what do, the top companies, what kind of revenue do they generate? Walmart, 648 billion, Amazon 590 billion, and Saudi Aramco 495 billion. So again, no $1 trillion revenue companies, and they're giving you just ludicrous numbers. I'm showing you guys this stuff because I want you to protect yourselves out there and really be able to spot the pumpers when they do this stuff.
Yeah. So the big deal for Optimus, again, after interviewing all these guys, the clarity. I mean, if people want to go back and look at those videos, they can get the same clarity. This you could build. If you got this in a box of parts, you could build it in your garage on a couple of tables. This would be that might be easier than some IKEA products, okay, to build this thing. It's not hard to build at all. All of the components are not hard to manufacture. You're talking about motors that they're already making. You're talking about plastic parts that can be easily molded. You're talking about stuff that could be done in 3D printers.
Yeah, Tesla is going to have to employ humans to build all these things.
Are they? Maybe the first ones. Maybe not. Maybe not the ones after a couple years.
So guys, I make these videos because I want to tell you the truth. And I understand in this world that we live in social media, the bling bling and the hype and the flash, that's what the kids want, right? Unfortunately, this is also the reason why many people lose all of their money in the market, is because they have no basis of reality of what to expect in terms of like numbers, right? What is realistic? And when you're turning these channels that just tell you, oh guys, robots are going to be everywhere. Robots are so easy. Robots are going to be awesome. This kind of stuff. It's like ridiculous because we haven't even sold even one robot, let alone producing these things. And I want you to learn to spot the BS and not get caught up in the hype, and understand too, again, money is changing hands with these people, and they don't care about you. They care about themselves. And why do I say that? Why? Because they're lying to you every single day. Like, all this stuff out there is just a bunch of BS. So learn to call it out. And also too, in our community, we try to help each other spot these things. And that's sort of why I do the news every day, to make sure that you are informed to protect yourself.
To really perfect it before they want to make 1,000. But they need to make 500 to 1,000 so that they can get the data, so they can keep teaching it. And so I think that they're going to wow people. And it's a lot easier than people are thinking. I keep hearing from commenters saying, you're dreaming. You're just a fanboy to think bots will not happen for 5 years or longer. And I've interviewed people, and they kept telling me, no, it's here.
And if he sets the goal at 20 and misses, he'll be leading the world in volume. I think it'll be more than Toyota. I think Toyota is like 10 million or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So do you think it'll be a high goal and miss and still be great, kind of like the timing for some of his stuff? What do you think?
So I'm on the camp, and I think this is sort of a small camp, but I really think 20 million by 2030 is legitimate.
They did it to themselves,
Too little too late now, but it is fun to watch them panic, backtrack, and embarrass themselves. You want to see that video?
The reason I called the channel Investing Against the Grain is because the whole point was because I realized that diversification is stupid.
Yeah.
And in that video, I have a clip of Warren Buffett saying diversification is a hedge against ignorance. Something like that. I might be butchering it. But so that was my whole point. And so that's when I realized, like, to have conviction, to really understand a company and to go all into it. Anyway, so just to let you guys know what I'm about to say, I'm all in Tesla. So I have a bias. So just putting that out.
So do the math on that. Eric, you got a calculator? You're sitting over there. What's 20 million times, let's say, 45,000? What is that? $1 trillion. 900 billion. I think it's 900 billion.
It's a lot of money.
I'm asking him to do the math. 45,000 times 2 million. 900 billion.
Yeah, that's 900. Yeah.
Almost $1 trillion. Yeah. So that's a prediction I will make. I think Tesla will be the first $1 trillion revenue OEM. I'll say that.
The subdivisions, I'm predicting that Tesla stock price in about 15 years will be somewhere around $48,893, which from today's date is roughly 47x where we are today, which is a lot.